Today, our first speaker is Sarah. Dave, come on out.
Woo!
Yeah, we love Sarah.
Yeah!
This is funny.
Yes.
Sarah was part of a Torchbearers call, which is not a Christian organization, and I was on Zoom, and multiple times really felt like she needs to speak next year at Akron Women on Purpose. I was like, I don't know who she is, and I don't know if she's a Christian. And through some Facebook stalking, realized I had met her once. She actually prayed last year for our prayer team, and I just didn't remember. And it was so clear to me that God had just, brought her to this point to be on stage. She actually tried to tell me 3 reasons why she couldn't be a speaker, and God didn't let her get away with that. But she is awesome and delightful and funny, and I had one lunch with her and left amazingly encouraged and just super thankful for just what she's going to share today, which I'm going to find out with all of you. But thanks for being willing to share your heart and your story.
Thank you, Noel, in December. 3 reasons, and he said, nope, nope, nope. So, hi, everyone. God gave me these words first. Let me just be very clear. God gave me all these words. But God gave me, from birth, a deep love for men. There are countless stories of me as a child, even, wanting these, random, strange men to, hold me and pick me up. My dad loved to talk about this. He thought it was hilarious. And it's funny because God used that love and, I guess desire, I don't know, to bring me to him. I came to the Lord because I went to a youth conference because I thought the president of the organization was cute. He's funny that way. And so, despite, I came to the Lord when I was 14 and, fell in love with him and always had this picture of him kind of as my husband, right? Like, I am his bride, he is my husband. And in my moments of pain, have always thought about laying my head on his chest with his arms just wrapped around me. And I think I've been chasing that, right? And so I had several serious relationships in high school and college, but after college, I found myself single, probably for the first time in my dating life, and I fiercely embraced that saying, if you dance with God, he'll let the perfect man cut in. I probably heard it at a women's conference or something. And I really did. I fiercely embraced this for 2 months. I could not get it together. I couldn't get it together. And so I started dating, and this was at the beginning of my career. So I was very serious about building a career. I was very serious about being independent and earning money for myself. And men took a back seat. I broke up with this guy because he wasn't serious about his career. And I was like, no, this is the time, right? I'll worry about serious relationships later. So I was casually dating, and I reconnected with this guy from college who had pursued me a lot in college. And as an adult, the wooing was so different. I'm in my early 20s, and he's taking me to nice restaurants, and we're going to all the, events that I wanted to be a part of. He was a politician. He had this, really big life. And I was kind of wooed by it. And he was charming, he was attractive, everyone knew him, and so I kind of got wrapped up into this relationship. But I wasn't serious about it, and I went to a dinner party with my friends, and I didn't invite him. And I remember he got mad and said, well, why didn't you invite me? I said, I just didn't. And he goes, well, I'm your boyfriend. And I was like, oh, are you? Are we? I guess we're there. Okay, that's fine, I guess. News, but sure. And so we started this relationship, and he was moving to Cleveland and was experiencing some financial difficulty. And so I was doing really well in my career, and I was very generous with my resources, right? I didn't care. This is someone who I guess I care about, and, sure. I find out later he had been going through my bank statements and knew that I, had been saving, and he drained that savings. But guys, it's fine. He needed it. He needed it more than me, right? Because he had this larger than life life, I was a part of that, and I got really wrapped up into that, and he was very interested in me looking a certain way. And so I remember countless times where I would, he would come to pick me up, and he'd encourage me to change my clothes, or to wear my hair a certain way, or to do my makeup a certain way. And I said, this is fine. I want someone who wants me to look my best, right? I think as women, we rationalize a lot of things that are clearly red flags. And then, we started fighting. There's this moment, I think, when things really started to change. I'm in my bathroom in my apartment. He had come to pick me up. I was not ready, probably because I was stressed to look perfect, but that's fine. I'm not ready. I'm doing my makeup and my hair, and he's standing in the doorway of my bathroom, and we're arguing. And I want to leave my bathroom, and he won't let me leave. I'm like, I want to go. And I should note here that he was a lot bigger than me, 6-something. He's like a man, like a big man. And he won't let me leave. I cannot get past him. And so this feeling starts to come over me, this visceral, caged animal feeling, where I start to fear for my safety. And so I push him. I did not move him, but I pushed him. And then he pushed me back. And then I slapped him. And my immediate reaction was horror. How could I react that way? How could I do that? That's crazy. And then, of course, he said, how could you do that? You're crazy. I always knew you were crazy. I apologized. And then a couple days, weeks later, something else happened. We were arguing. I wanted to move away from the argument. I needed to breathe, calm myself down, and he wouldn't let me go. And I don't remember quite how it happens, but at some point, I'm on the floor in my hallway, and he's holding my arms, holding me down, pinning me to the ground. And that caged animal feeling has been rising during the argument. It has been rising in that moment. But I don't know if you've ever experienced helplessness. I could not move. After that, I tried to distance myself a little bit. It wasn't the only 2 incidents either. There's a lot of bruises, a lot of pushing, shoving into walls, choking. And so in that distancing, he did notice and called me and said, hey, it's Valentine's Day in a couple days. I planned this very elaborate night and with friends, with another couple, and I'd really like you to go, even if it's our last, goodbye. And because I am a nice girl, and because I felt obligated, because he had spent all of this money and time and attention planning this event, I decided to go. it was tickets to something I had wanted to see and dinner at my favorite restaurant. And then we went back to his apartment with this other couple to, I don't know, hang out, play a game, I don't know. I don't remember how that night ends. I woke up the next morning naked and alone in his bed. Had I been drinking? Yes. Enough to not remember? No. I find out a few weeks later that I'm pregnant. We hadn't been sleeping together. I had really been wanting the perfect man to cut in, right? So I had no precautions, and I was pregnant. Being a mom and a wife, my greatest desire for my life. Being pregnant and the father of that baby being this man that I couldn't imagine a life with, someone who abused me financially, emotionally, physically. I cried to my sister and I said, I don't know if I can do this. He will never let me go. And what is that life? And what is that child's life? A couple days later, I had a miscarriage. God saw that pain. He knew the desire of my heart, and he poured his grace on my life. Sarah, I'm named after, Sarah from the Bible. And before she was Sarah, she was Sarai. And let me tell you, she is so relatable. Right, so her and her husband, Abram, wanted a baby, and they couldn't have one. And she did what any impatient woman does. She took matters into her own hands, and she gave her slave, Hagar, to her husband. And Hagar became pregnant, and then Hagar, probably lorded it over Sarah. I can't imagine that's probably how it went, right? And so Sarai really, started treating Hagar pretty poorly. And so Hagar fled. She fled to the desert, which is where the Lord found her. And the angel of the Lord said to her, "You are now pregnant, and you will give birth to a son. You shall name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard of your misery." And Hagar says, "You are the God who sees me. You are the God who sees me. You see me. God saw me." After the miscarriage, I was able to completely cut ties. But I was not free. I went through counseling. I had post-traumatic stress disorder. I was terrified to get into any relationships. And it felt like the desire of my heart was slipping away to be a wife and a mother, that love that God had given me for men was gone. And yet he knew. He saw me. Someone unexpected came back into my life. Someone who had pursued me for over a decade. As a friend, as a partner, as someone who could listen. And we got married. And he is, oh my goodness. He is my soulmate. The man that God made just for me. And we have 2 kids who are all the things. If I only pursue my husband's love, I will still be empty. If I only am held in his arms with my head against his chest, a place that I long for and love to be, I will still be empty. God sees me, he sees you, he pursues us, but I have to pursue him too. I have to pursue him too. Motherhood is the same. I pour out so much. And I find these moments of discontent, of missing the person I was before, missing just being with my husband. The Father reminds me of the gifts he's given me. He reminds me of my heart's desire. And he lets me pursue those relationships in fullness and in joy and in hope, even in the mess, even in the moments, especially this last year, right, where there is no break. There was no break. There's no break. Even in those moments, though, if I find the joy with him, I can find the joy in the other places. I read this, meme or thing on Facebook recently that talked about how men in the Bible have to go up the mountain to be with God, or go off into the desert to be with God. But God comes to the women. He came to Hagar, right? He comes to Mary and Martha. He sits in their pain and despair and brings hope and joy. He sees them. He sees me in this moment that I've shared, and so many other moments that I haven't, and he sees you too. Thank you.
Yes. Come on, give her some more love. Give her some more love. To be able to come and share your life with somebody, oh my goodness. And let me tell you, I just absolutely love Sarah. One thing that God always shows me, that when someone tells a story, the fact that she is standing here telling the story and we're not hearing it from someone else, that's enough to give God praise.